Hello everyone and welcome. It's SimRacing Asia F3 series live from beautiful Mosport in Canada. My name is Marco Barbanera, and of course, with me behind the cameras and also in the booth, going to be Scott Newton. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Marco. Welcome everyone to round number 4 of the SimRacing Asia Formula 3 Championship. It's good to be here. Normally it's set behind the cameras, but with Sam Fitzpatrick at the British Grand Prix today, decided to jump up and commentate as well. So yeah, it's good to be here.
As we are getting set to start Heat 1, so as per usual, we are going to have the two Heat 1 and Heat 2, with the top 8 of Heat 1 getting reversed in the second one, and the second one being a little bit longer than the first one. So we are about to go through the starting grid for this first race of the day. As the cars are lining behind the pace car, it's Muhammad Alif. We will start in pole position, in front of Kim Joo-min, Joel Estornino, Jaiser Injali in the second row. Benjamin Brook, Amanda Zik in 5th and 6th, and Taikim Abiputra in 8th position, Im Joke in 9th, Ruko Oistra in 10th, Mark Winter, Fuji Sartno, Bruno Cardoso, Kevin Wang in P14, and rounding up the grid without setting a time in qualifying will be Mark Lang in his Lotus 79. So, Scott, a track that we all know very well, because it is a track that has history for having high attrition rate, and certainly a track that does not allow the driver for any kind of mistake.
Yeah, absolutely, Marco. Having had experience here in Pro Mazda back in 2015 when the SimRacing Asia crew ran the Pro Mazda Championship back then, yeah, I found it pretty tricky. Track, obviously different conditions to what they are today. But yeah, drivers got to be very, very wary around the circuit, given the fact that it's very, very bumpy in most places, especially going into the Moss corner, but also to the exit curb at turn 1. You will find that if a driver makes a mistake, there it's pretty much game over for them today. So we'll just see how the drivers fare for the first race of 20 minutes and then the feature of 25 minutes.
Also, in the week, we have heard that some drivers were complaining on the forums because, of course, the series is mirroring the series, the official series of the F3 calendar, and drivers were complaining about a couple of spots on the racetrack that can really damage your car if you run over them. So we'll have to keep an eye on those, especially you can see maybe from the pictures, from the aerial pictures, you could see, for example, you could see the patches in the tarmac, basically, and that is what is catching these drivers a bit off guard. So we'll have to see how these drivers are going to approach these possible trouble spots that they are going to have to face today.
Yeah, certainly just a section that we come through the first part of Moss Corner there. On the entry, there's a very, very deep landmine that can catch quite a lot of people out and spear cars off the track. So drivers are going to be very, very wary of that. Just run a little bit wider so that they avoid it, or have the ride heights adjusted to account for that. But then again, that will reduce the overall downforce that they have and suction to the road. But yeah, just coming up to the final section of the track now for the green flag.
Exactly, drivers are about to come onto the start-finish straight, and we should be ready to go for this fourth round of the season. And here we go, green flag is in the air as the pace car drops into the pits. You can see the drivers trying to use all of the racetrack as they are moving up and down, trying to get a good line, and everything seems to be fine as the two leaders. Oh, there's someone around in the back. Seems like apart from that, everyone is behaving nicely and getting into the first corner with no issues.
Yeah, it looks as though that MJ was the car that was off at the exit of turn 1, and he falls back to 14th place. But Jimmy and Kim currently leading into Moss Corner out of Muhammad Ali and Joel Estanino rounding out the top 3 at the moment as they're coming up onto the back straight now. Everyone seemed to get through pretty cleanly. Everyone within about a second of each other, which is good to see. See whether Muhammad Ali will be able to do attack, trying to go around the outside of the back straight there through the final section here into turn 6, I think it is, and getting the job done. And Kim falls back into second as they're coming out to complete lap number 1.
Yes, in this very unique final section of S's it's not really a chicane, it's very fast flowing, and you could really, you know, launch an attack if the driver in front of you is not careful, as once again you see, it's crazy to see these little Formula cars, dart left and right, trying to get out of the slipstream. So, going back to that damage I was talking about earlier, caused by the bumps, you could lose up to 1 second per lap all of a sudden, and also it can really upset your car as we get into Moss Corner once again, and the status quo remains the same with the Stornino and Jali in 3rd and 4th, trying to close the gap to Muhammad and Kim in 1st and 2nd, as you know, more or less the long snake of cars is still all together as we are adding once again into the SS a very, very short lap here around Mosport.
Yeah, it looks as though that the times are going to be around the 1:09 mark from practice. I was doing a few laps just to get the eye in to see how the drivers would fare. And yeah, first lap around, a Leaf put in a time of 1:09.29. So yeah, pretty much on the ballpark there. Kim trying to go on the inside, but yeah, wasn't close enough. Had a look, but not able to get the move done. Just looking a little bit further back now, see that the train of Brooke, Hazik, Kim and Koistra battle for 6th through 9th. Very, very close. See that Kim is close to Hazik, trying to get the move down on the inside, but not close enough. He'll have to set it up on the exit of Moss Corner. Didn't get the run that he wanted, but still in the tow. I'll see whether he can get a run like a Leaf did on Kim on the end of lap number 1.
As further up front, I see Estornino fighting, almost getting side by side into the corner, as the same thing happens here with Kim having to defend in his 777 car. And once again, we have seen, you know, this series is, gets drivers from all over the Asia region, and of course Australia and New Zealand. So sometimes, you know, phantom contacts can be, unfortunately, I have to say, part of the deal. So they have to be extra careful. And whilst in the past with GT cars that were used in the series, you could somewhat get away with that. Of course, now with Formula cars, especially these little Formula 3 cars, any kind of contact can be a disaster because the cars tend to be then get immediately unbalanced, and getting wheel damage is extremely easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just on board with Yali at the moment. See whether he can close up on the back of Estornino. Estornino trying to close back up on the Leaf at the moment. Going very, very deep and wide through the last Esther section for Yali, and that's compromised him through the final sector there. As I think that's a lapped car ahead of them. Alif getting compromised. And
Estornino is wide, trying to avoid the lapped car. And I think he is in big trouble, losing 1 spot for sure.
And I think Kim's in the wall as well.
Yeah, Kim is in the wall as well, you are absolutely right. So Estornino is dropping down to 9th. Oh, he's upside down. Kim is upside down, and you can see he's there now, towing back to the pits. So that was
I just caught the bump.
Surprising to say the least.
Yeah, just caught the bump in the middle of turn 2 there, and It's very, very detrimental to his race, but yeah, just unsettling the car and trying to correct it, but it stepped back out on him, and yeah, sadly, that corner's pretty much flat out, if not a slight lift, and yeah, doing about 220 k's through there, it's not going to end well if you have to correct it, and yeah, sadly, Jimin Kim is out of the race from second place. That leaves a 1.5 second gap from Alif to Yali, so a bit of a gap there for Alif.
So already some surprises in this first race, and of course these drivers, Kim and S2M04, will have it all to do in the second race, as they are trying, they will try to get back from the rear of the grid, considering that it is going to be tough, well, for Kim especially, to get into the top 8, and S2M04 is also in the pits right now, coming out of the pits in P11, so it's going to be tough, as we can see now. Azik and Koistra. Sorry, that was Azik and Abiputra, apologies, and Azik gets the move done and gets up into P4. And now he will set his target on Kim in the 777 car in front of him for third place, the final podium position.
Yeah, it was a good move there from Azik on Putra. Just got the good exit out of Moss corner, and that allowed him to pretty much slipstream all the way down the back straight, carry the overspeed into that sweeping right-hander through to the final sector, and it's been pretty much the favoured overtaking place I would have thought the drivers in its first 8 minutes of this race. But, yeah, this group here, Azik, Putra and Koistra, is the closest battle at the moment, separated by 1.4 seconds, the 3 drivers.
As headed to the SS once again, 7th lap of the race, 20-minute time limit, of course, for the first race, 25 for the second one. As you can see, Azik trying to pull away from the fight behind him, with Putra and Koistra getting closer and closer. You can see we are on board with the Y-Lab car, looking back at Koistra, and this is going to be certainly the battle to watch for the next couple of laps, as Azik gets his personal best lap so far and looks to, like I said, pull away from this duo. They're about to get once again into Moss corner. First they have to go down the hill and take the left-hander, and that's what makes this corner so tough, I think, Scott, is that you get, you basically cannot brake while in a straight line. You have to brake while cornering, and then of course Moss cornering on its own. It's such a tough corner with a lot of camber and elevation changes mid-corner, and almost a double apex, as you can see now, side by side, and Koistra has got the inside into the SS, makes the move stick, or hopefully he will make it stick. It seems like that will be the case. It's a nice move from the number 252 driver, and he gets P5 over veteran of the series, Abiputra.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going back onto your point about Moss corner, the actual braking zone's right after the long left-hander, as Putra's, I think, off into the gravel trap there and is in the wall, so it looks as though that Putra's out of the race, the same fate as I was at Jimin Kim. Different circumstances, I think. Was that Putra just ran wide, and yeah, just once you're out in the weeds, it's very, very difficult to stop. But yeah, coming back to Moss corner, yeah, the braking zone's pretty much right in where there's about a 3 or 4 minute gap where you've got the exit of the left-hander, but where you're coming up the hill. So pretty much right at the bottom of the hill is where the braking zone is for that entry to Moss Corner. So yeah, it's a very, very tricky section to get right and carry the speed all the way through there to get the exit out of that section there.
Getting, also getting back to the second corner of the racetrack that has, already caught some drivers unawares. In real life, of course, that part of the racetrack has been repaved. The runoff area has been repaved, and instead of grass, they have a long tarmac runoff area. But we don't have it, and that is a particularly, usually, and we've seen that also in many categories we follow here on ApexRacingTV, especially as of late. We've had, for example, the Dynamics GT3 series come here to Mosport. When you put one wheel, two wheels on the grass there in that long left-hander down the hill, it's almost like there is a magnet that takes you straight into the tire barrier on the right. And there have been no updates, no news on a possible rescan of Mosport, and I have to tell you, I like it the way it is right now. That is in a time where there are so many tarmac runoff areas, this track not only has still kept the basic layout of the the 60s back in the days, but also it has this there is basically no place in the track where you can afford to make a mistake, and that second corner is really what this corner where Mark Winter is right now, maybe the poster of the way this track is so unforgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those tracks that doesn't suffer from Tilke syndrome, which is always good to see. Not to say that new circuits are bad in any way, but yeah, just to see that circuits that punish drivers for mistakes, and that's what we like to see as well, just to make sure that the drivers respect the track limits as well. Having said that, though, with if there were to repave or rescan Mosport, would just think there would be a huge slowdown penalty if the outside of turn 2 would potentially gain an advantage. Do you think?
Yeah. But in the end, it's better to have a slowdown penalty than into the tire wall. So, but hopefully they keep. Apart from that, the track is pretty much unchanged. And like I said, if you take around, a drive around with the, Grand Prix Legends, the video game simulator from the 90s, done by Papyrus. There is Mosport, and basically the layout is identical. So, and it's not something that many tracks can say today. The fact that the layout has been so consistent, for so many decades.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking back up front at the moment, we've got Muhammad Alif still gapping Jasmine Yali. Gap at the moment is about 2.1 seconds. So coming across the line to start lap number 13. Last lap time for Alif, 1 minute 9.8. And Yali putting in a time of 1 minute 9.6. So gap coming down slowly, but in saying that, though, the gap is opening up to 2.3, so potentially Alif saving the tyres a little bit, but with the conditions out there at the moment, I will bring up the weather as well. So overcast, 21 ambient, 24 degree track temperature, so there should be plenty of grip out there for the drivers today.
Yes, absolutely, and that is, of course, welcomed by every driver, I would imagine, because the way this car works, with these small tires, it's very tough. Even when they are at full temperature, in good temperature range, it's tough to get the car to be planted on the track. It's a very tricky car to drive, as is with most of these lower level Formula cars. So any help the drivers can get is absolutely welcome. There's 5 minutes left in the race, a little bit less than that, and Muhammad Alif is looking good for the race victory. Jair Rinjali is trying to close the gap, but so far he hasn't been able to put, a significant run of good laps. The gap has been hovering around the 2 seconds mark, more or less, for the past few minutes. And if Muhammad can keep it going like he is doing right now, he should have the victory in race 1. And it is looking really good for him, and so is for Kim. The third place is for him is looking good as well. You can see the gap on the right side of your screen. It has had a spike a couple of laps ago, but it's staying close to the 2 seconds mark in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, so just going to monitor the gap as they come across the line this time. See that Koister's very, very close to Hazik as well. We'll cut to that in a second. But yeah, the gap's hovering around 2.1 at the moment, so just cut back to Koister and Hazik. Koister having a very, very strong result at the moment in the top 5. Seen that he's, over the last couple of rounds, that he's had fairly strong results, so good to see him still up at the front. Gap closing to just under 0.3 of a second.
As having a chat in the race chat with Abhiputran, apparently he has been a victim of those bumps we were talking about earlier in the beginning of the broadcast, and you get this side pod damage. You really don't feel it at first because there is no bang or audible sound, or not even losing control of the car, and then all of a sudden you are dropping 1 second per lap. Rokoistra in the draft of Azik, bravely on the inside of the S's. Can he keep it on the inside? I think he can, and that would be a fantastic move worthy of 4th place for Rokoistra, and he is on a roll. And he certainly has been the most aggressive, in a positive way, of course, driver of the day, making a couple of nice overtakes and getting P4, which is certainly a good result. Podium is almost impossible, of course, given the little amount of time left, but certainly a very, very good performance for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We came to find out what his starting grid position was, given that my live timing is all over the place from the start of this one. Apparently, Alif's been up 14 positions, but I know that for a fact he started on the front row. So, having said that, though, Koister still putting in a very, very good result. We'll see what he can do in the second race with the top 8 inverted. Looks as though that Kevin Wang at the moment is in that prime position at the moment. Sadly, he is 43 seconds off the leader, but in saying that, though, he will at the moment. No, bit of commentator's curse there. Hopefully, he'll be able to hold on to that. We've got Bruno Cardoso about 1:20 back, so he's over a lap in front of the car to the next position. So certainly see if he can hold out for the next 48 seconds.
I mean, if he still hasn't used his fast repair, he could get in and get out, and should be comfortably in front of Bruno Cardoso. But we'll see, because he hit. If anything, he hit that wall pretty square, so he will have some damage. I'm quite sure of that, but I think it's going to be minor damage. So I think he will be able to hold on. But if in any case, he can still get in, fast repair, get out, and should be able to keep the car in 8th place. And that, Scott, should be the white flag for our race leader.
Yeah, Alif crossing line with about 10 seconds to go, so Alif forcing the extra lap. Been very, very cracking pace, to be fair. Last lap it was only 700ths off his personal best. The fastest lap of the race actually goes to, I think, Tae Kim at the moment with 1:09.09. So if not the quickest out there, but certainly been the most consistent out there for race number 1.
Getting out of Moss corner for the final time and into the Mario Andretti straight. Dominant performance in race 1. Of course, race 2 will be trickier, starting from P8 and having to weave his way through the traffic, but that will be in a few minutes. Let's concentrate on his race 1 achievement. Muhammad Ali, fantastic drive, no contest all race long. He has been the dominator and wins the race in front of Jaisrin Jali. He will finish in second, and Take Him will finish in third. So this will be your podium. Rukoistra, after a fantastic drive, gets fourth place, beating Azik in the race for fourth and fifth place. And now we're waiting for the other drivers to come home and see Kevin Wang, who, despite his issue a few minutes ago, seems to be good to go for 8th place, and therefore the reverse grid pole position in the second race that is coming up in just a second. After all the cars are home safely, there will be a short 1 minute gridding period and then back racing for race 2. So little time for adjustments. Here comes Kevin Wang. So this confirms his reverse pole position. Bruno Cardoso is home already, and Benjamin Brook, final car that we were waiting for. Everyone home, and we are ready to give you the final race results from race 1. And like we just said, the winner of this race has been Muhammad Ali. Fantastic drive in front of Jason Jari, Take Him, Rukoistra, Ayman Azik, Mark Winter, Fuji Sartono, and Kevin Wang. Bruno Cardoso, Benjamin Brook, Joel Estornino, and together with him, Abhi Putra, Kim Jong-un, Im Jo-hook, and Mark Lang. These are the retirees. And of course, these guys from Bruno Cardoso downwards will start in this position in race 2. And of course, the top 8 will be reversed. So Kevin Wang in the pole position in front of Fuji Sartono, Mark Winter and Ayman Azik. Rukoistra will start in 5th place. Take Him in 6th, Jaisrin Jali in 7th, and of course the race winner Muhammad Ali will start in 8th. As you can see, the field is already there, ready to go. Someone is missing, maybe. Or maybe that was... I saw... I'm quite sure I saw a hole in the grid, but that might have been just a, the way the camera was pointing at the starting grid, as you can see right now. Confirmation of the starting grid on your screen as we are getting ready for the 25-minute main event of the evening. So Scott, weather seems to be the same, and these drivers will therefore, I think, apart from the fuel, they should be basically running with the same conditions and therefore the same setup as in race 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Look to say that it was Kevin Wang, our reverse pole position driver, was in the pit lane, so Kevin deciding not to take the start for this one, so it'll be up to either Fuji Sartano or Mark Winter to be in the control of the field once the pace car comes to the pit lane and we get underway. But yeah, as you say, pretty much the only difference is the fuel load, the extra 5 minutes of race time plus 1 lap. It's the only real difference with this one, so it's pretty much going to be exactly the same. We'll have to see how the drivers navigate through the traffic today, especially with the Leaf back in 8th position.
So there was a hole in the grid. I'm not going crazy. that is reassuring. Too bad for Kevin Wang, but he's been one of the veterans of the series, especially with the GT cars. Maybe still getting the hang of these F3 cars. So I think it will be, usually it is the guy in third place that inherits control of the start. Let's see what happens right now, because the pace car is in and we are racing for race 2, the main event of the evening here from Mosport, as the cars are heading into the first corner. Fuji Sarton with a fantastic start and looks to be in control of the field. Winter in second, Azik, Koistrajali, Kim, and the race 1 winner, of course, everyone up one spot due to Kevin Wang not showing up for the race start, as mostly seems like everything is good. But of course now the tricky part of the lap comes with the first run into Moss corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Just see that Kevin has decided to take part in the race as well. So he had a pit lane start, but yeah, who was that off in the background? I think that was Imjo.
Yeah.
There, off at the exit of Moss corner, so he's at the back of the field at the moment. It's just seen that's Brooke at a leaf trying to go 2x2 into the right-hand sweeper through the final sector. So a leaf into P number 6, so up 2 positions from where he started. Who's that around? That's Koistra.
Oh dear, massive wreck on the front stretch. As we see a car spinning, that could have been huge. Cardozo is involved as well, I think. Could have been a disaster, certainly. Someone else goes around, it's Brooke. Oh god!
Just having a look at the replay back when, Koistra had a moment where the car bounced and just went around on him, and then we'll just go to Benjamin Brooke through the entry to turn 2, and pretty much exactly the same as Jimmy Kim in race number 1. And who was that? I think that might have been Charlie, I think it was Charlie that
yes,
was
someone
in the
went out of the track confines, basically, at least on my screen.
So Hazik tried to put a move on Mark Winter, but not able to do it. Still sitting 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Is that Tao Kim in 4th position, getting up on the back of the gearbox of Hazik. And we're only on lap number 3, but lots of action has happened in this.
Someone goes wide. Yeah, Kim is wide. I think he's also going to hit the barriers there. Unforgiving 2nd corner here at Mosport. So attrition rate once again comes in big in this racetrack as the leader locks heading into Moss corner. Kim seems to be good, so I will have to eat my words. Good for him. He only lost 1 place, and now we will have to work hard to get back into the fight for the race win. He'll certainly look good for it, as Azik, having his hands full on the Mario Andretti straight, trying to get past Winter, and I think he has been able to make the move. Yes, he has. So Azik up to 2nd, Winter in 3rd, Putra in 4th, and I think if they sort of work together, they can get Fuji Sartono there at the front of the field. They are not that far away, but of course the more they keep battling up close, the more they will slow each other down, as Putra is really risking by going that way into 2nd corner. And now trying to get the move done on his teammate. Side by side, entering the downhill left-hander into Moss corner, as once again Sartono is locking the brakes. And Putra making the move stick, so up to P3. But look at the way these broke up this front pack. Yes, they are still very close, but they were nose to tail just a couple of laps ago, and now there is more or less 1 second between 1st and 2nd, and 7/10 between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, just seeing the effect of the draft that Mark Winter's got on his teammate Avi Putra. and yeah, not able to use that to its full effect, as Winter got a bit of a compromised exit through that final corner there and falls back at a 3/4 of a second on Avi Putra, but he's closing on Hazik through turn 2. Certainly had to lift there with the reduced downforce that he has, and yeah, not able to get the move done. Trying to look up the inside at turn 3, but running wide there. You don't want to get the wheels on the dirt there. You find yourself in the wall very, very quickly as Putra trying to go up the inside. And he's up the inside, and he'll get the move done with the double right-hander there. So good move there from Putra. But that'll allow Hazik to challenge up through the Mario Andretti straight.
Quite a queue forming behind these two guys as the leader is running away. With Hazik 4 station, his team at almost 3 wide behind them, by the way. So, I mean, we have had some fantastic racing as of late in this series. Last week was great. And today has been great as well. Shame for a couple of crashes, but once again, that is the name of the game more often than not around Mosport, as we are into the 6th lap of the race. Race 1 winner getting up into P5. So good move from Muhammad Alif there. Certainly I was I mean, we are 6 laps in, but also just 6 minutes in, because the way the laps are very short and there's been a lot of chaos. I was expecting him to make his way quicker through the field. He's taking his time, but he has more or less 20 minutes left to come back to the top, and is now, joined this party, about to get past Hazik. So in a couple of corners, Muhammad Alif from 6th up to 4th, and now looking to make the most out of the fight between Putra and Kim.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned about Alif's pace at the start, given the fact that he fell quite a long way back. But that may have been due to the contact with Koistra, whether he's just trying to find his bearings, then to see what sort of car he had underneath him after that little incident there. But yeah, it seems as though he's back underway. Last lap over 1 minute 9.9, and yeah, it's pretty much the 3rd fastest car in the top 4. So certainly trying to close up on the leader, Fujita Tano. It's got a 3-car train right now. So Putra looking to the inside now on Mario Andretti straight. Looks as though that he'll get the job done. Might not be too long before Jimin Kim, his Eurasia teammate, gets the job done on Saitano. But coming up onto lap number 8, new leader Putra.
That was a very nice move. So we have a new leader, as now, like you were saying, Kim is looking very feisty in the mirrors of the former race leader, as you can see, Joel Estornino. Making a nice move there at the very beginning of the lap. And in front of Winter right now, that was for 6th place. Let's see if now, thanks to the draft, this will be the right moment for Kim to get past Sartono and move up into 2nd place. He needs to make the move quick, because otherwise I think Putra will run away. And also Muhammad Alif is close to the action as well. So certainly, 3 wide there. Okay, that was quicker than expected, but more importantly, Muhammad has jumped from 4th to 2nd. That was a fantastic pass, and he got them both on the Mario Andretti straight. Great driving from all parties involved. And now the race is on, because I think the 3 quickest drivers, Scott, are at the front of the field as we get a replay of this crazy move by the Legion of Racers driver.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a fantastic overtake there from Elif. Just looking at the gap and took it, and yeah, it was well timed by Elif, as Putra has had an off somewhere.
Oh,
try and get a replay
yes,
of that one
he has.
right now. As I know, he's run right at turn 3, and that's allowed Elif to get up the inside, and Putra's found himself back in 4th place. So an unfortunate error there for Putra, given that he led at least one lap of this race. But yeah, certainly going to try and recover now. Try and get past the driver of Fuji Sultano.
Okay, so now another change for the lead then, with Muhammad Alif in first. Looking good for a clean sweep of the proceedings today. Kim in second, Saturn back to third. Zik and Putra running side by side, running very, very close. That was a nice move there. Sarton also going down to 4th. So sorry, that was Putra and Sarton. Here is Estornino. And the Zik. This is the position of Zik right now in 5th. Estornino using the draft on the Mario Andretti straight in this brightly colored Macau SimRacing car. You can see hitting 238 kilometers per hour as they head into the S's. As you can see, that is not heavy braking zone. Au contraire, is a very, very flowing section of S's. And you really need to keep your momentum going if you want to have then a good run. And Estornino certainly is having a good run. As we are heading into the we are already in the 12th minute of racing out of the 25 scheduled. So basically at the halfway point of this second race, and Muhammad Alif is pulling away. Someone is around there. There's contact between Sartono and Putra, possibly. Trying to... Yes, Sarton and Putra. What a surprise. They are both off at Moss Corner. They made contact. Let's get a replay. Here we go. So they were fighting very, very hard. Sartono is in the pink and black car. So did Putra go around on his own? Oh, that was the lap before that. So that was when the overtake was made. But certainly the dynamics seemed like Putra going around and Sartono not having the chance to avoid. And you can see the damage on Putra, sorry, on Sartono's car is pulling to the side. Okay, this should be the right one. So much stuff happening. Oh no, they made, I think, did they make contact, Scott? Because this perspective from behind seemed like they made contact, but I'm not sure 100%.
Yeah, it looked as though that Sartono may have misjudged it slightly on the entry to the second part of Moss Corner, and yeah, sadly the contact was made, and that turned around Putra, and also Sartono found himself together there in that incident. Sartono is back in the pit lane at the moment. Putra is back in 6th place. So yeah, unfortunate contact there, but so something that was avoidable to a certain extent, but yeah, sometimes misjudgments are made, sadly. But yeah, Putra's still in the race, 6th at the moment. Kind of on his own at the moment, 7 seconds behind Winter and a further 8 seconds ahead of Kevin Wang. So kind of in no man's land at the moment after a little bit of contact.
Final 10 minutes of this race then. Battle for the lead seems to be solved in favor of Muhammad Alif, but all to play for the final spot on the podium with Estornino, Zik and Winter. As you can see, you could put a blanket over them, and now Zik seems to be under big pressure from Winter. Good defending there from Zik. Winter was a bit behind, so not a real threat heading into the S's. And next week, of course, we will change completely. We'll stay in North America. No, we're talking about runoff areas. Well, we will be going to Circuit of the Americas. So it's got a completely different scenario, despite being well, a few kilometers away, of course, because North America is quite big, but a very big contrast in styles between the two tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. With the runoff areas of Kota, certainly going to be a lot less strenuous for the drivers if they happen to make a small mistake. They're able to gather it back up, see that Windsor's going to go up the inside of Hazik, and he's going to get the job done up into the end of the Mario and Jody Straight. But yeah, also you've got to factor in the first sector at Kota as well, where there's very, very high curves as well. So you certainly don't want to be hitting those at any point that might send your car off into the barriers or part of the runoff area where you've got damage to the car. So that could be also a race ender as well. So
also, don't forget, coming up in just a few hours, Europe 8 will be back on ApexRacingTV. First race of Season 7, we will be in Interlagos, and that is going to start at 18 GMT, so you don't want to miss that, with myself and Sam Fitzpatrick. And of course, tomorrow, the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT Series, newest addition to ApexRacingTV, will make another race. They will have another round, and it will be shown basically in the European morning. I cannot remember the time for the life of me. Also, as you can see, Scott, lately I've been a bit confused by all the time zones, so I will avoid giving out false informations. But I mean, now there's every day of the week something to look forward to on ApexRacingTV, and this new, nice to have, finally series from your part of the world, getting interested, getting involved, and it's a pleasure to show them, of course.
yeah, absolutely. With the Aussie Mix and Fix coming on board, I'm pretty sure that's at 20:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, which will make that 10:45 GMT tomorrow morning.
Okay, so the same time as the IMSA series, basically.
Yeah, same time as the IMSA series, pretty much. But on a Sunday rather than every Tuesday. But yeah, I think that race is at Daytona, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly check back on Apex Racing TV for that one coming up tomorrow. I'll be in the booth for that one as well, alongside Jonathan Simon and I think Sam Fitzpatrick as well. So certainly looking forward to that one.
Melazik, now that he has lost a position to Winter, has not been able to close the gap, and seems like it's going to be a 5th place for him. But of course, anything can happen, and mistakes are always around the corner. Quietly, Storninho is having a good run in this second race, and he looks set for a very nice 3rd position, which would be, of course, a very nice result. Like I said, well, Kim has closed the gap a bit, maybe on Muhammad, or Let's see the lap times in the last lap. No, Muhammad Alif has got quicker lap time than comparing the no, sorry, so I don't know. Seemed like the gap went down, but it wasn't in reality. The gap is more or less the same between first and second place with Muhammad Alif. As you can see, 109.3, 110.1. So really pushing hard is the race leader. He wants this sweep, clean sweep of the proceedings today, and he's on a good course to do so, as Azik is trying to close the gap on Winter now, 0.6 of a second. So he needs to get, I think, Azik in that zone where you get close on the Mario Andretti straight and you can use all of the slipstream in order to then set up a possible pass into the S's. If you have a good overspeed, certainly that is quite possible to do.
Yeah, certainly. We're just going to have a look at the exit that Hazik gets. Still about 0.6 back. Having seen the pace of Alif getting that double overtake earlier in the race, sadly I don't think Hazik is running the lower downforce stream or have the slipstream to take full advantage of that, and yeah, the gap opens up to about 0.85 of a second at this time. So see what the lap times are there. See that Winter's opened up about 1/4 of a second on that last lap, 1 minute 10.25, comparing that to Hazik of a 1 minute 10.57. So it looks as though that in the final 5 minutes of this race, Winter's trying to get the hammer down and put a bit of a gap on Hazik.
Back again into the Mario Andretti straight. You said earlier, of course, the setup maybe not helping there, Azik. As you can see, the gap is actually, seems to me like it's increasing over the straight, which is, of course, like you were saying earlier, probably indicating that Azik is running with a higher downforce, which of course is much more helpful in the first part of the track, but then on that massive straight you really suffer. 22 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Mark Winter pulling away despite Azik getting his personal best, 1:10.1. So he was a bit quicker in this lap than Winter, but not enough. And he needs certainly a little bit of help from his rival there. A mistake, or as the cameras are on Kim Jun Min, second placed car, number 2 car also. Gap to Mohammed, 6.5 seconds. And back to this fight here, as you can see, Azik now being a bit closer, but not getting the speed he needs, despite the slipstream in the Mario Andretti straight. And then Winter can pull away and guarantee himself, the kind of separation needed to have a more or less, safe run into the SS. But now look at how close they are. This high downforce Scott really helping Azik in the other portions of the racetrack. So this battle is not over.
Yeah, absolutely. See that Hazik almost got into that exit turn 1 curb, and that almost put him out of the race. So very lucky to not force that error. And so coming up to turn 5 now for Moss Corner. Still gap of about 0.4 of a second. He'll get very close. So if we can go on the roll bar cam of Hazik. See what sort of top speeds they're getting. Looks as though they're fairly similar at the moment. But also you've got to factor in the gearing as well, as Muhammad Alif is coming up to start the final lap of the race as well. But yeah, Hazik not able to put any sort of pressure at this time. We've only got one more chance pretty much to try and get the overtake done.
So the white flag in the air for the race leader, and therefore for all the competitors still on the track. One more chance for Ayman Azik. As you can see, Muhammad Alif almost 8 seconds over Kim in second place. And certainly, despite not the best of starts to this second race, he more than made up for it. Got his positions, fantastic 3-wide pass, and a much deserved race to win. He sweeps the proceedings. Kim will finish second, Estornino in third, Azik and Winter so close to each other. The gap almost nothing, but you can see good defending in the S's from Winter. One more round, they have contact and they both go around. Winter's pointing in the right direction, gets the position, and smartly Azik reverses through the start finish line. That is a smart thing to do. So that was very close to a disaster. In the end, they both finished in the positions they were before the contact. Putra finishes in 6th. Kevin Wang will finish in 7th. Sartono in 8th. Disappointing race for him. After a good first portion of the race, he dropped down quite a lot. Cardoso Coistra, not a good race too after a good race 1, involved in the mess in the beginning of the race. And we are just waiting for one more driver. Im Johuk is on the start finish line, and he finishes in P12. And so that was race 2 from Mosport, as we are getting ready for the final results, as the drivers are all home safe and sound. And yes, we shall take you through the official results for race 2. Muhammad Alif, your winner, 7 seconds, 0.3 over Kim Joo-min. Joel Estornino in 3rd. Mark Winter finished in 4th. Ayman Azik, Abi Putra, Kevin Wang. These are the drivers on the lead lap. Fuji Sarson, Jesse Jali, Bruno Cardoso, Rokoistra, and Im Johuk. 1 lap down, then the retirees take him, and Benjamin Brook, sadly, Mark Lang, once again, did not take the green flag. So, Scott, another great night of racing. And like I said, next week, going to be Circuit of the Americas for these guys. Certainly, the slipstreaming the draft will play a key part in the proceedings.
Yeah, certainly, Marco. As you say, with the slipstreams around Kota, got to be very careful through the twisty sections of both the 1st and 3rd sectors. But yeah, that middle part of the lap through turn 11, all the way through the back end of turn 12 and 13, it's going to provide a lot of overtaking opportunities for the drivers. Certainly hope for a big turnout next week, as we've had some very entertaining racing as we've had over the course of the 4 rounds so far. We've still got 6 rounds to go. But yeah, with the double win for Muhammad Alif, he's certainly looking to consolidate his championship standings at this time. I think he'll find himself rocketing up the field, starting on 156 points today. I think with that double win, that'll put him on 236 after this week. So yeah, certainly strong weekend for Alif this week, and he may even be leading the championship after today's race.
So, sadly seems like we have no drivers for interviews. Now, of course, like I said, later tonight, we are going to have the Euro V8s running around Interlagos for their first round of the season, the first points-paying round of the season. But if you haven't had enough of racing and you are in the mood for some more Mosport, I strongly suggest you go to the Dinner with Racers YouTube website, where we are about to start in 15 minutes time a race, and that will be an IndyCar race around Mosport at night, and it will be produced by us at Apex Racing TV. So if you want to have some fun, head over to the Dinner with Racers channel. And Scott, I think we have a driver for interview, so if you will excuse me, I will move to get ready for the next broadcast. Thanking you very much for your work behind the scenes, and for sharing the booth with me. And we shall catch everyone in the next round next Saturday then.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers, Marco, as always. And yeah, we'll just bring up our race winner for tonight, Muhammad Alif. Welcome, Muhammad, to the Apex Racing commentary box. Congratulations on your double win tonight. Just tell us a little bit about your races from your perspective, if you could, please.
Hi, Scott. Yep, it was a pretty intense race. I think Heat 1 was, struggled to find the pace for myself. Couldn't really dip into the 108s. But yeah, I'm not sure. One of the Kims spun in front of me, and then from there on was smooth sailing for me. For Heat 2, I think, I made my way all the way up to from 8th, I think, up to 6th or 5th, and then got collected in the into the main straight. There was an incident there, and then then had to make my way up again. It was a really cool battle against me and a couple of really good drivers, and I just enjoyed myself. Found the pace, so was consistently doing 108. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that double overtake heading into the final section of the track off that Mario Andretti straight. Were you running a lower downforce package today compared to the other drivers, do you think, or did you have that bit of a balance set up just to be able to navigate the twisty sections of the track?
Yeah, it was a lower downforce setup from VRS, but I noticed that the other guys were running more rear wing, so I just said to myself, if I got a chance, just go for it. But yeah, in the twisty section, it was all about just finding the rhythm, and then after that I could go as fast as those running more downforce. But yeah, just coming back up the field, the lower downforce just helped me get past all these guys. It was really intense, and I just went for it. I just licked the stamp and sent it.
Yeah, absolutely. With the double win tonight, that will give you 80 points in the championship. Coming into this week, I think you were third in the championship on 156 points. But with the double win, looks as though that you have a very strong position heading into next week, which will be at Circuit of the Americas. What are your thoughts heading into next round of the championship?
Yeah, next round I might not be able to join due to some family commitments, but the next race is going to be intense. Even if I'm there or not, we've got a couple of strong drivers who didn't make it this weekend, like Mohamed Ibrahim as well. So yeah, if I do make it, I'm gonna have to practice real hard to just keep the pace up against these strong guys in iRacing.
No worries. Well, just before we let you go, Mohamed, is there anyone that you would like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my team, Legion of Racers, my bosses, Lim Kyung Wee, Melvin Mo, as well as you guys for hosting this amazing league, for the live stream commentary, as well as Mark Lang and Wei Han for actually arranging all this and bringing me into the SimRacing Asia group.
No worries, Mohamed. Well, if we don't happen to catch you next week for Circuit of the Americas, we certainly hope to see you for round number 6 of the championship. So we wish you all the best, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
So that was double race winner tonight, Muhammad Alif. Don't think there is any more drivers for interviews, so we're just going to quickly go through the upcoming events on Apex Racing TV. As Marco mentioned earlier, we've got the Euro V8 Supercars Championship for round number 1 of the championship at Interlagos. That'll be starting at 18 GMT. Tomorrow we've got the Aussie Mix and Fix GT Development Series for round number 5 at Daytona. That will be at 10:45 GMT. Then on Monday we have the World GT Championship for round number 1 of that series at Brands Hatch. That'll be at 19:15 GMT, coinciding with the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. That's a double header for Apex Racing TV. That'll be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the same time, 19:15 GMT. Then further on that Monday night, heading into Tuesday morning, got the Rick Tech Sports Car Championship for round number 7 of the championship at Road America. That'll be at 12:15 AM GMT. Then we have the IMSA Sports Car Championship for round number 6 of the championship, and that'll be at 10:45 GMT on Tuesday. And then later on that night, Eracing GT Sprint Series for round number 6 of the championship at Brands Hatch. That'll be at 18 GMT. Then following that, it will be BSI MX5 Pro Series for round number 18 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That'll be in the Moto configuration. Then on Thursday night, we have the BSI TC Pro Series in the Kias for round number 11 of the championship. That'll be at Silverstone. I think that'll be the Grand Prix layout, if I'm not mistaken. So, new circuit on iRacing. Very entertaining to see how those Kias cope with that. Then on the Friday night, we've got the iRacing Le Mans Series for the 19 GMT SOF race for round number 6 of the championship at Spa. And then we'll be back on next week for round number 5 of the championship for SimRacing Asia, which will be at Circuit of the Americas at 13 GMT on next Saturday. So I think that will pretty much wrap up the broadcast here. On behalf of Marco Balbonero, my name is Scott Newton, and certainly hope to see you tuning into one of the following Apex Racing TV broadcasts throughout the week, and certainly tuning in or competing in one of the races coming up. We're certainly looking forward to next week at the championship at Circuit of the Americas for the SimRacing Asia Formula 3 Championship. But until then, we wish you all the best, and take care.